16 companies from Sonora, Mexico came to Albuquerque to meet with New Mexican business people as part of the New Mexico-Sonora Commission, which was organized by the International Business Accelerator. Jerry Pacheco, executive director of the IBA, explains the trade mission.
The New Mexico-Sonora Commission is created to foster relations between New Mexico and the state of Sonora along all sorts of avenues. One is economic development, another security, another is tourism, et cetera, et cetera. And so the very first major activity of the New Mexico-Sonora Commission was this trade mission that we set up with 16 companies from Sonora that came up to the Albuquerque area. And these companies were involved in aerospace, they were involved in foods, and they were involved in alternative energy. So the International Business Accelerator got called upon to facilitate that trade mission and set up the companies with counterparts in Albuquerque and northern New Mexico and try to foster business.
The outcome of the Trade Commission is promising. There are ongoing negotiations as a result of the meetings with several different industries here in New Mexico.
In the alternative energy field, the three companies that came from Sonora were all involved in solar energy. One of our providers here in New Mexico that makes a regulator component for solar energy systems has already quoted for two of the three Sonora companies a price for his product, and they're negotiating now the distribution and purchasing of that product in Sonora. Then we had a couple of companies from Sonora that were coming up, and now they're actually seriously investigating the possibility of putting in a branch of their operations in the Albuquerque area. One is a company called Suspiros Pastelerias, which is a pastry company that has 30-some-odd locations in Mexico, and they're right now looking at putting in a branch there in Albuquerque. And another company is an automotive air conditioning components company, Refriato. And Refriato wants to put in their own branch in Albuquerque. So we're moving these along the lines, and we're in touch with the companies, and we're performing the follow-through as we speak.
Plans for Sonora to also host a trade commission where New Mexican business people can explore opportunities down there is in the works, though no time has been set. There are also no trade figures for the amount of imports and exports between New Mexico and Mexican states. Pacheco says, though, that he sees a lot of potential for trade with Sonora.
We do see a lot of potential for the state of Sonora. There is a lot of industry going on in Sonora, and they're exploring many areas like we are in terms of alternative energies, and they even have a fledgling aerospace component industry. So there's definitely some synergies there.
Sonora's economy is considered stable. The state hasn't seen the drug violence that has plagued Mexican states like Chihuahua. The International Business Accelerator is encouraging trade with the state and is facilitating what they hope to be an increase of business between New Mexico and Sonora.
It's the very first time there's ever been a trade mission between Sonora and New Mexico. And most trade missions, most initial trade missions, are more of a getting to know each other type of deal. And for the Sonoran companies, almost to a company that I spoke to after this thing was finished, they were very surprised at what New Mexico had to offer, and they were very encouraged in terms of the prospects with New Mexican joint venture partners, with the New Mexico market, or taking New Mexico products down to Sonora. So it's going to be up to the companies to take the initiative and take the next step, which is, okay, let's make this a reality. Let's set up a business in Albuquerque or in New Mexico. Let's get this thing going. We at the International Business Accelerator will continue to help those companies if they want to come into New Mexico and establish themselves as a New Mexican entity. That's a foreign investment in New Mexico, and therein lies job creation, and there's a multiplier effect. So what we want to do is we want to encourage those companies to come here, help diversify our economy, put productive elements into the economy, and we all benefit.
The International Business Accelerator is part of the New Mexico Small Business Development Center. They are a nonprofit that helps small businesses who want to get into the international market by providing services and information. They help facilitate trade with countries all over the world, though most of their business is done with neighboring Mexico. Pacheco says this is a good time to explore the global market.
In times of recession, there's always opportunities that present themselves. And, sadly, some companies gird their loins, so to speak, and they retrench instead of looking for opportunities, especially in the global market during a recession. And now's a good time to start exploring to see whether your product or service has a market outside of the U.S.'s borders. And certainly we can help guide companies in New Mexico and and get them started.
Jerry Pacheco of the International Business Accelerator. More information can be found on the IBA website, www.nmiba.com. I'm Rachel Kennedy for KSFR News.